Okay, so we're in the office here with the grow tent. I saved some of the berries, and we're going to do some experiments here to see if we can get these ones to germinate. I know these are viable because they came from a tree that I didn't plant, that grew there on its own, from a tree that I didn't plant, that grew there on its own, that came from a tree that I didn't plant, that I let live originally. So it's the third generation, so I know it works and I know it's viable. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to try some whole berries in the bag and some just the seeds in the bag, and then we're going to try the direct dirt method and see if that works or if there's a difference. So if you aren't familiar with the bag method, you take basically some paper towels, fold them up, wet them, put your seeds in here, put it inside a Ziploc baggie, and seal it and throw it in the grow tent. Or in the refrigerator, depending on if the seed needs to winter over. These being mulberries, and seeing how they're grown in June and July, they do not need to winter over. They need to go directly and start growing now before winter comes. So let's try first. There's like 2 whole berries. We'll put those in there. Put these in the bag. No, you don't have to use Mickey Mouse Ziploc bags, but I have a small child at home and he likes Mickey Mouse, I guess. There they are, 2 whole berries in a Ziploc bag, sealed. Now with just that much water in there, these will stay wet the entire time that we need them to. If not, I can always just open it and add more water. I'll check it every couple of days. Number 2, we are going to try to take 2 of the mushier ones, and I'm going to attempt to pull some of the seeds directly out. Taking the time to pull the seeds out of the fruit in case the fruit happens to be toxic to the seeds. Some plants do that to prevent the fruit from growing too close to the mother plant. So that way the fruit has to actually be digested. Let's get a close-up of these seeds for y'all, just so you all know what I'm digging at here. Those are the seeds. They're just tiny. If you add my finger for reference, you can see how small they are. They are itty-bitty. See, I need to save some of them for the dirt. Or soil. Take another one and this one, break it apart. I'm just using a paper clip. You could also use a toothpick, anything smaller than your finger, because you know these seeds are really small. Okay, those look pretty good. Has to be something you can use this purple for too, like a natural dye of some sort. That'd be interesting, because I mean it does dye your fingers pretty good. I don't know if I could dye clothing with it. Maybe that'll be our next experiment. Next year. Gotta do something with all these damn mulberries I'm gonna be growing, right? The paper towel, wet paper towel, kind of works as like soil would in the real world, out in the outside world. Alright, there's number 2 done. Now let's do the direct soil. Been using my handy dandy shitty screwdriver tool. Stir the soil. I've wetted it a few times to make sure it's kind of wet all the way down. It could use a little more here. Just because I want it evenly damp. I don't want it to be dry on the top or just under the surface and all the water's clumped at the bottom, causing mold or some issues. All right. Now this, we have some berries left. This I expect to be less efficient, so we're going to put more berries down. Like this was 2, that's 3. We're going to put down more here. Let's start by putting a couple of them, 2 of them just on top. Let's put 2 right next to them, just slightly under the soil. I mean, I'd put a little divots with the dent of my finger, put the berry right on top, and just barely cover the berry. These 2, let's dig them more out, and let's mush the whole berry and put right there, just under the soil. And this one, we're just going to put the berries on top, like they fell from the sky. Now I'm going to put a lid on that to help keep the moisture in. And we're going to set all of these in the grow tent and let them go for a couple of weeks. We'll check back then and give you an update. When they start to sprout, I'll put them in the ground and you can see them then. Until then, puff puff fast, no park on the grass. I'm out of here. I know these are viable because they came from a tree that I didn't plant, and so I know it works and I know it's viable.